fans to the Dirt Dogs International Racing Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the Dirt Dogs International Racing Network. I am your host, Jake and Keith, here tonight for the TRL Super League. Australians versus Americans. Hobbs trenching and boring 2022 showdown. As we get ready to rip, rock, and roll here at Charlotte, week number 2, ready to kick off for the 410 sprint cars. We're going to have to ask you to please stand up, remove your hats as we do tonight. National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth fertile. Our home is God by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath the radiant southern cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who come across the seas, we've boundless plains to share. With courage, let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the national anthem for tonight's Hobbs, Trenching, and Boring 2022 showdown for the Australians and Americans here with the TRL Super League. As we get ready to rip down the house here at Charlotte, these boys are getting ready to do their thing. Still a few minutes left to practice as we head on in. We're going to let these guys file their time in, and we'll be back in just a few moments. So bear with us. Don't go anywhere. Now's a good time to stretch your legs. Go get something to drink, grab something to snack. But don't you dare change it as we get ready to rip, rock, and roll here at Charlotte. Well, looks like there ain't no more drivers left out on the track as we cycle through to try to find somebody. Nobody's out there. But that is all right, because we are ready to rip down the house. We're going to go through the weather report for tonight as we get ready to head on in to tonight's qualifying session. And for me, that tiny little screen over there is just too hard to see. It looks like it says 80% or 80 Fahrenheit there, but it's hard to say. So we got to pull up the stream here. And it looks like, yes, indeed, 90 degrees out with 68% humidity, partly cloudy, 17 miles an hour winds. We're here at Charlotte on Concord, or in Concord, North Carolina, on Concord Parkway. The Australians versus Americans 2022 showdown presented by Hobbs, Trenching and Boring, the TRL Super Leagues. Ready to rip the house down. Head on over to their Facebook page at facebook.com/TRL Super League to keep up with any information on any kind of drivers that you may need and may want to do. Your favorite drivers, your team, all that good stuff. But that is the weather report heading on in for tonight's race event. The 410 Sprint Car is ready to rip up Charlotte Motor Speedway. We got a few more minutes left of practice, about a minute and a half left, and then we're racing here at Charlotte. As the track quiets down, race control ready to put these guys in. They are finishing up with practice, heading on into the qualifying session. So these guys will have a chance to rip up the track and try to get the fastest time down here at Charlotte so they can pull out and show out for the TRL Super League. Australians versus Americans here tonight. Although there is a lot more Australians than Americans. But it's a battle. It's a showdown. The 410 Sprint Cars are ready to hammer it down as we see Michael Rutledge hitting the track there, coming down the backstretch into 3 and 4. These guys are going to try to put down the best laps that they can. And then we're ready to go. Brad O'Brien finishing out as he's going to sit currently in the 3rd position behind Clayton Davies. Daniel Boyd going to pull up 4th here as he is in the 79 machine, holding on to 4th spot, rounding out top 5. Brett Hobbs, Paul R. Bryan going to lead these guys off, though, above Clayton Davies in the 2nd spot. That is the top 5 fastest here as we get ready to go. Oh, and Brad O'Brien getting moved on back by Nathan Vandewecker. This Vandewecker out of nowhere coming up to the 3rd spot there in that 88. These guys are cranking the laps out. We still got a few more drivers left to hit the track here. Locke and Barberry out there going to hit the track now in that 47 machine. Thank you for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen, here on YouTube. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and follow us. Hit that bell to get notified every time we go live every Saturday here at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Australian time. We are live here on the Dirt Dogs International Racing Network here for the TRL Super Leagues, presented by Hobbs, Trench and Boring. Australians versus Americans showdown 2022. Oh, the 47 getting into the outside wall there as he moved up into the 8th spot for fastest time. The 97 of Alex Hanna going to sit out on the track. Here we got Clayton Tilley in the 51 going to come on out and try to rip some laps up. Tilley in the 51 going to hit the back stretch on that high side. Going to put you into 3 and 4 around the outside as well. Coming by the flag stands, this is going to be the first lap he's got to put down coming around 1 and 2. We are ready to go here at the Dirt Dogs International Racing Network. Stop down at the local concessions. Grab your hot dogs. $1 hot dogs, courtesy of Peter Newdar over at the SLR. We're ripping, rocking, rolling. Clayton Tilley coming in, putting up the 5th fastest time, moving into the top 5, knocking Daniel Boyd back into the 6th spot, and Brent Hobbs back in the 7th. Oh, if we are going to have a battle here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. These guys are tearing it up here in these 410 sprint cars, let me tell you. Alex Hanna still out there. Brock Lewis looks like he's making laps, but he's going to end his run there. So I think we got 3 left. If they throw up a time, we will see. We're waiting on Ryan Meekins, Mark Stewart, and Ryan Buchanan. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Qualifying's finishing up here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to head on in for heat number 1 of the Americans versus Australians 2022 showdown presented by Hobbs, Trenching and Boring. And we are getting ready for the grid here, starting on the pole for heat number 1 here. Let's see if this overlays are going to work a little bit better now that we got it upgraded. Paul R. Bryan going to start here on the pole. To the outside of Paul R. Bryan, we're going to have Brad O'Brien. It doesn't look like the ticker wants to work, so we're going to use this other stand-ins here. So starting on the pole, Paul O'Brien, Brad O'Brien going to start in the 2nd spot in the 77 machine. Brent Hobbs in the 64 going to start 3rd. Braden Miller starting in that 2 machine, going to start in the 4th spot, with Michael Rutledge in the 33 starting 5th. 6th going to go to Shane Yost in the 99 machine. Brock Lewis in that number 8 starting in the 7th spot. To his outside, we will have Corey Baudon starting in the 8th position with that number 7. Anthony Crown supposed to be in the 9th. There he is in the 239 machine. And Ryan Meekins is supposed to tail the end of the field in the 10th position, but it doesn't look like Meekins is gridding up. So we will have 8 cars for 10 laps. 8 laps, excuse me. One more time around under pace, Bryan and O'Brien looking for that green flag start here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for heat number 1 of the TRL Super League. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4. The 42 to the inside of the 77. Coming around 3 and 4 here. We're waiting on that green flag to drop. Nice formation as these guys come around 4. Wave to your favorite drivers. Green flag here is out. First lap coming around in the books. Paul O'Brien going to hold off Brad O'Brien in that second spot. We're going to come back to Yost as he is in the 99 machine all over the backside of Brett Hobbs. Down to the 1 and 2, the 64 looking to lead off that 99 machine, trying to get away. We see Yost and Hobbs nose to tail back behind him. We got Corey Baud on looking to stick his nose on up in there. Brock Lewis here in the number 8 machine, almost getting a little clip tail to that 7 machine, but we see him dip down low, using that low to midline. They're pushing on up, trying to push the berm on back. 4 laps left remains. We go back up to the front to Paul O'Brien as he looks to lead this thing off in front of Brad O'Brien. Brad O'Brien in the 77 down the backstretch has Braden Miller to the tail side, going around the outside edge. That 2 machine like a rocket. Able to come up to that backside to the second. Oh, we got contact. He does a wheelie up into the wall. We lose his lid. He goes around, contact made with the 8 machine. Brock Lewis on the final lap of Paul Bryan. Able to hold him on. Brad O'Brien still in that second spot. Shane Yost in third, coming around for the checkered flag, waving heat number 1 is in the books. Hard racing up front there. Braden Miller getting into the backside there of that 77 machine and finding that outside wall. Very unfortunate there for heat number 1 there and Braden Miller. But that is racing, ladies and gentlemen. That is hard racing here in these sprint cars. Lots of horsepower, heavy feet, as we know these guys can definitely be heavy-footed. So now we're going to get ready to pull up the grid for heat number 2. Starting here on the pole, we got Clayton Davies. Starting to the outside of Davies, we got Clayton Tilley. Starting third, we got Cole Ferguson. Here's Clayton Davies starting on the pole there in the 50 machine. In the 51, Clayton Tilley going to start to the outside of him. Cole Ferguson. There's Tilley. Cole Ferguson going to start in that third spot with Bu Nation starting in the 4th. Alex Hanna in the 97 starting 5th. Tyler Bish going to start 6th. Thomas Mitchell going to start 7th with 8th. Going to go to Daniel Nickel. And tailing the end of the field, we got Lockie Phillips. So we got 9 cars again. Heat number 2. 8 laps ready to rip the house up here at Charlotte. Pace truck is off. Clayton Davies. Clayton Tilley. Battle of the Claytons up front. Coming around 3 and 4, waiting on that flag man to signal the start. Green flag here is out. That 50 machine going to dip to the inside there. We got contact a little bit. Ferguson, Tilley going to battle it out. That 51 trying to find that group around the 91. We see contact a little bit there. The 81, excuse me. And that may have started a chain reaction. Cole Ferguson getting into Thomas Mitchell towards the back of the pack. Forcing Thomas back a couple spots on that one. Or a spot on that one, excuse me. The 51 machine going to hold on to second. Bu Nation in the 3rd spot now, pulling up 3rd. Behind him, we got Alex Hanna in the 97. Lockie Phillips making his way up from the backside of the pack to 5th, back behind the 97 of Alex Hanna here. 4 laps left remaining as they hit 1 and 2 onto the backstretch. Hanna in the 97 looking to track down the 94 of Bu Nation. Down the front stretch. past the flag stand into 1 and 2 on that outside edge, trying to push it back even further. Clayton Tilley digging down low, trying to make some work for him to catch Clayton Davies in that 50. These 410 sprint car drivers, way better than I could ever do. Tilley digging deep down low, almost getting that inside tire as we see that 51 machine push out wide. He's catching Davies slowly but surely as the white flag is out, coming around 3 and 4, checkered flag waving. Clayton Davies going to take it over Clayton Tilley and Butte Nation. We had a battle back here for 3rd and 4th as Alex Hannum worked his way up in the 97 to the 94, but Butte Nation able to pull it on home over Hannah. Awesome racing here. Now we got heat number 3 as we get ready to rip, rock, and roll. Starting here on the pole, we got Nathan Vandewecker. Daniel Boyd going to start to the outside of him. Oh, there's Vandewecker in the 88. Boyd in the 79 in the second spot. Lachlan Barberry in the 47 going to start third, with fourth going to go to Ashton Hurley. Robert Crawley in the 35 going to start fifth, with 6 going to Stephen Haley in the 60. Seventh going to go to Braden Morowski. And 8th going to go to Jordan Rutledge. And tailing the end of the field, starting 9th, Mitchell Clark. And that 0-0, double zero. Look at that thing. Oh, 0-I-I. Oh, it's hard to tell, man. Hard to view. But awesome looking paint schemes on all these guys, man. Everybody's out there repping some nice paint schemes there. I need to get in contact with your y'all's painter. 2 laps around and we go. Oh, no, 1 lap around, excuse me. They send the pace truck on in. Vandewecker. Daniel Boyd coming around 3 and 4, waiting on that checkered flag, or green flag, excuse me. Green flag here is out for the 410 sprints. Heat number 3, Vandewecker, Lachlan Barberry. Gonna battle it out down the backstretch. Barberry gonna go down low into the inside. Vandewecker around the outside edge of that, down to the inside as they come by the flag. Into 1 and 2, the 47's gonna pitch, or into 3 and 4, the 47's gonna pitch it to the inside of the 88. The 88 looking for that crossover here as we got a battle slide job for crossover here up in the front. The 88 machine trying to hold off that 47, throwing the block to the inside, but the 47 gonna pitch his nose in there and make him move on up anyway. Here comes Ashton Hurley in the 99 machine. Had to take a look up at the board there as Hurley was making his way through and is on a move. Vandewecker still trying to hold off Lachlan Barberry here as Barberry goes to the inside, almost coming up on the 88 machine. We see back in that 3rd spot, the 99 of Hurley going to try to work to the inside of the 47, the 88. Woo, these cars are passing the camera. The camera's shaking. Daniel Boyd gets some contact there, but able to hang on to it. Robert Crawley going to be involved into something back there. Jordan Rutledge as well. White flags out. Vandewecker, Lachlan Barberry. Vandewecker, Barberry, Ashton Hurley coming around for the checkered flag waving. And that was some awesome racing. 410 sprint cars there. Congratulations, Nathan Vandewecker, Lachlan Barberry, and Ashton Hurley here. I'm taking heat number 3. Last chance qualifier. Last chance qualify. I'm not exactly sure how many make it to the feature. I would have to pull the information up, but we're not too worried about that as we pull up the grid for the last chance qualifier. So starting here on the pole, we got to fix that. Corey Baudon going to start here on the pole. To the outside of Baldon, we got Lockie Phillips starting in that second spot. Here, that number 7. Look at that number 7, man. All these cars look just phenomenal. Lockie Phillips in the 17 going to start second. Third going to go to Stephen Haley with Michael Rutledge starting fourth. Tyler Bish going to start in the 5th spot with 6th going to Mitchell Clark. 7th going to go to Anthony Crown with 8th going to Daniel Nickel. 9th going to go to Brock Lewis with 10th being Braden Morowski. Thomas Mitchell and 11th with Robert Crowley and 12th. Cole Ferguson and Bray Miller in 10th, 13th and 14th and 15th. Tailing the end of the field, we got Jordan Rutledge. So we're going to have 15 cars here for the last chance qualify. This is your last chance, fellas, as we get ready to rip, ride, and roll. Corey Baldon, Lockie Phillips, ready to go. Green flag here is out. We see Michael Rutledge falls back a little bit as they went 3 wide, 4 wide. We're going to cycle back, try to see if we can catch some action going on. 3 wide there, coming out of 3 and 4 to the flag stand. Braden Miller in that number 2 machine trying to find his way to that outside edge. He's got the 0-2 to deal with as he got a crossover with a slide job happening. Down in the 1 and 2, the 2 to the backside of that 0-2. Thomas Mitchell, Braden Miller. Battle nose to tail. Back up here we go to Mitchell Clark, who is just inside the top 5 as he's got Stephen Haley and Tyler Bish right in front of him to battle. 9 laps left remains here at Charlotte. Jump back towards the back side of the pack. We see Anthony Crown, Daniel Nickel, Robert Crawley, Jordan Rutledge there. Battling going on everywhere. These drivers trying to make their way on up through the pack. Finding their lines, finding their groove. Here comes the top half of the pack. Braden Miller still in that top 5. He's got Tyler Bish and Michael Clark to deal with. Stephen Haley in the 60 to the outside. We almost got a 4-way battle for the second spot. Instead, they were 3 wide heading into 3. Cycled out and single filed, almost double file there, heading into 1 and 2. Thomas Mitchell made his way on up to that first spot. Leading these guys up, Braden Miller. Now in that second spot, the battle of the 2s, the 0-2 and the 2 nose to tail. Down low, we see Braden Miller going for that slide job. He's got lap traffic. He may have chose the wrong lap to do so. 3 laps left remaining. Coming around 3 and 4. Thomas Mitchell has the lead, but here comes Braden Miller trying to go to the inside. Down in the 1 and 2. Braden Miller trying to hold off Mitchell on that outside edge. Mitchell down low. The 2 able to get a run around. Able to pull it off. White flags out waving. Around the outside edge, checkered flag waving. Braden Miller takes this one over Thomas Mitchell and Tyler Bish for the top 3. Awesome racing here on the last chance qualifier. Not sure how many it took exactly, but we'll get ready to head on into the feature. These guys got some warming up to do before we head on into the feature, though. So now's a good time to stretch your legs, use the restroom, as I am going to go use the restroom, get something to drink, because we'll be right back in just a moment. So do not go anywhere. As always, guys, we tell you, do not forget your wings. If they do fall off, please remember to come back to the infield to get your wings. Front wings, top wings, it doesn't matter. Also, fans, please stand away from the fence, as we like to remind you to do so, as sometimes we have cars flipping and being caught by that catch fence. These guys are hammering out practice, though. They're doing pretty good job of it. A few more seconds, we're going to rip, rock, and roll on into the feature for tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time. The Dirt Dogs International's Racing Network proudly presents to you the Australians versus Americans, presented by Hobbs Trenching and Boring, the TRL Super League. As we pull up tonight's grid, we have the feature getting ready to kick on off. Paul Bryan going to lead this one off, starting here in the second spot. We're going to have the man, Clayton Davies. Paul Bryan in the 42, Clayton Davies. Nathan Van Der Wacker starting third. Brian O'Brien starting fourth. Fifth going to be Clayton Tilley. Sixth going to go to Lachlan Barbary. Seventh, Brent Hobbs. Eighth going to be Bayou Nation. Ninth going to Ashton Hurley. 10th, Shane Yost. 11th going to be Alex Hanna. 12th going to be Daniel Boyd. 13th going to be Thomas Mitchell. Braden Miller. Mitchell Clark here in the 00 here. Tyler Bish in the 41. Stephen Haley. Braden Morowski. Robert Crowley. Corey Baudon. And I believe that's it. Top 20 cars. So we're going to have a 20-car shootout, I believe. 20 cars made it to the show for tonight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. 35 laps here at Charlotte for the 410 sprint cars. Clayton Davies, Paul Bryan. Down in the 3 and 4, the 50 machine to the outside of the 42. Paul Bryan to the inside of Davies. The 88, Van Der Wacker to the inside of Brad O'Brien, second row. Coming down to the front stretch. Green flag here is out. Down in the 1 and 2, these drivers go 3 wide for the second spot as we see Clayton Tilley trying to take it over early in that 51 machine. Yellow flag's going to strike the speedway. And it looks like this one's going to be on Ashton Hurley, but we'll see exactly what caused the incident. 99 makes contact there with the 94. It looks like the 94 come off the wall maybe. Yep, got a little squirrely off the start. The 94 did come on down to the 99, made some contact there, and the 91 went around. Yellow flag strikes. Says we have Clayton Tilley out front here, so we'll give the man the pole sitter in front of Lachlan Barberry, who is currently in the second position with that 47 machine. And Brent Hobbs in the 64 are going to be in third. So that is top three on that yellow. I'm not sure if they're going to do a complete restart. We will see what happens here. We get ready to go green flag ripping. So we did a complete restart with the 50 machine. Going to start out to the pole here. Not sure what is going on with the stuff, but we will get it under control. Paul Bryan in the 42 got a three-way battle with the 51 to the inside to Clayton Tilley. And Nathan Vanderwecker battle for the lead. Vanderwecker using that inside line. The 51 going to follow in suit as he shoots to the outside with the slide up. The 42 going to go to the inside. Paul Bryan looking to hold off Clayton Tilley. We got battling action going on everywhere as they were almost 3 or 4 wide back behind these guys. Paul Bryan moved back into the 4th spot behind Tilley in the 3rd. Vanderwecker trying to chase down Clayton Davies, who's currently leading. So we have it finally figured out. And it looks like it might be figured out on this too. We'll see. Still green, lap 9 of 35. We're almost a third of the way through the race. Davies leading these guys off. We're going to try to ride behind Davies. He's scraping that outside wall with that rear. Good, almost half a car or half a straightaway away from these guys. Nathan Vanderwecker trying to find his groove. Here comes Tilley around the outside in at 51. Back behind them, they got Brent Hobbs battling with the Paul Bryan in front of him. We got yellow flag striking the speedway. And it says this one's going to be on Jordan Rutledge. We'll see what happened here. Rutledge getting a little loose on that outside or inside line. It looked like he blinks in and out on that inside line, and then 114 going around, and the yellow flag's going to strike out of safety for the drivers. Clayton Davies in the 50 machine leading these guys off. Clayton Tilley slipping back into the 3rd spot, back behind Nathan Vanderwecker. 24 laps remains here. This 35-lap 410 sprint car feature. The Australians versus US 2022 showdown presented by Hobbs Trenching and Boring. Green flag here is out. As Clayton Davies leads these guys off. Nathan Vanderwecker going to push to the outside. Tilley going to try to work his way around him now to the outside. Forcing Vanderwecker down to the inside here. He's able to take that 2nd spot away. Tilley loses his wing. We got contact and cars rolling. Yellow flag is thrown. And that one was crazy. Let's go back and watch that one back. The 88 machine, it says, is on the mishap of this one. But I believe it's the 51 machine there, Clayton Tilley, trying to get to that outside edge of the 50 of Davies. Hard racing coming out of these guys. So we go to the slow-mo cam. Go back a little bit here. Hard racing out of these guys. The 50 machine, Davies involved, Tilley involved. As we get these guys lined up and ready to rip, rock, and roll. One more time. Guys, let me know what you guys think of the stream from last week to this week. If you guys would, I hope it looks a lot better. We changed the motherboard in my PC. So please, any feedback that we could get is greatly appreciated. Pace truck is off, though. Davies going to lead these guys off one more time. The 42, Paul Bryan in the second spot. Brett Hobbs moving up into third. Battles the 50 machine of Davies, goes to the outside. 22 laps remaining. Here's Paul Bryan going to jump off front. Brett Hobbs moving up into second. We see Davies going to the outside wall. It looks like it may have messed something up in that car as he's now forced back to the 7th position. Back up front, Brett Hobbs in the second spot as he's got Lachlan Barberry back behind him in the outside edge trying to hold that 77 off, but Brad O'Brien made his way around. Three-way battling we see back here as Mitchell Clark has got four wide in front of him. Lockie Phillips watching it all unfold right there. Clayton Davies almost 3 wide back behind him too. The 27 to the outside of Lockie here. The 17 trying to hold him off. Davies in front of him. We got Robert Crawley, Alex Hanna. We got battle up front with Brad O'Brien. Paul Bryan and Brett Hobbs. Nose to tail. Back here, Corey bought on the single file out in that number 7 machine. We're getting them fixed up and underway. BU Nation in the 94 still has all them guys back behind him battling it out. The 97 of Alex Hanna going to hold the inside of Lockley Phillips. 15 laps left remaining for these 410 sprint cars. Braden Morawski in the 27 machine trying to hold off Brad O'Brien. Trying to catch the backside here of Mitchell Clark. Daniel Nickel in the 18. Guys are getting ready to go a lap down here. As Daniel Nickel, the last one on the lead lap. Corey Bought on here trying to hold off Daniel Boyd. Lachlan Barberry holding on to the 4th spot. Brad O'Brien right in front of him. Brent Hobbs there too. The 77 machine using that outside line. 10 laps left remaining. Coming around 3 and 4 to the flag stand. Paul O'Brien in the 42 has clean air as we ride right on board here with him. That was the wrong one. Goes to that outside line, trying to work his way to the backside, it looks like, of the 97 of Alex Hanna. Yellow flag's out, yellow flag strikes. We'll see what this one was on. It looks like it might be Lachlan Barberry, but we'll see what happens. Barberry is the 77 to the inside. And it looks like he's got contact from the 64, Brent Hobbs. So we rewind that back. Trying to come to the inside here. Contact. The 64 machine. Helps him right around. We'll go back a little bit further. See if we can catch the inside car from the 64. Brent Hobbs. Just hard racing out of these guys. But that is the instant the yellow flag strikes on. As we get ready to go green flag. 2 more laps around. 9 laps left here for Charlotte Motor Speedway. Can Paul O'Brien hold off Brad O'Brien and Brent Hobbs for the win? Pace truck is off, down into 3 and 4. Brian, O'Brien, Hobbs, green flag here is out. 8 laps left remaining for these guys here in the 410 Sprint Car Series. Nose to tail, Brad O'Brien trying to do all he can. That 77 machine to the tail side of the 42. Back behind him, we got Corey Ball on Brent Hobbs. Gonna battle nose or side by side as the 7. Gonna try to hold off Hobbs. Hobbs falls back a little bit as Daniel Boyd able to get around him as well in the 79. 79 trying to hang with the tail side of the 7 here, but the 79 gonna go to the outside here into 3 and 4. The 7 gonna come on up. Daniel Boyd checks up on Corey Baudon as they head into 1 and 2, the 79. Using that outside edge, the 7 down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Corey Baudon leading these guys off. Up to the front here, we got the 77 and the 42 battling. Slide job, we got contact, the 77 into the 42 to the outside wall. 4 laps left remaining, giving the 79 a chance to catch on up. Daniel Boyd, Corey Baudon. Here with the leaders, the 42, Brian. Holding these guys off, using it outside edge. We see Corey Baudon in the 7. Trying to use that middle line. Coming around 3 and 4. 2 laps left here remains. Into 3 and 4 one more time. The 7 looking for the outside of the 42, but the 42 able to use that throttle just enough to stay out in front of the 7 here. Baudon trying to hold on. Daniel Boyd in the 3rd spot. Coming up 9 spots. Corey Baudon coming up 17 spots to the 2nd spot. Awesome hard racing. Paul O'Brien going to take this one home in Charlotte. Awesome racing here out of these 410 sprint cars here with the TRL Super League. Australia versus USA 2022 Showdown. Presented by Hobbs, Trenching and Boring. Paul O'Brien takes week number 2 at Charlotte. Corey Baudon in the 2nd spot and Daniel Boyd in 3rd. Battle up front. These drivers all over the place as the track slicked off, but able to get her done and hold it off. Congratulations to these guys. And we'll be right back with some drivers interview in just a moment. All right, guys, we're going to pull up the third place finisher, Mr. Daniel Boyd, who finished third in the 79 machine tonight, holding on and doing an awesome job. So we will pull him up onto the booth first. Daniel Boyd, man, up in the booth. You got a copy, brother.
I got a copy.
What a race that was, man. You came up 9 spots, finished in the 3rd spot. Was a battle as it started getting hairy up there in the last few laps, man. Go ahead and give us the rundown what it was like for you in that 79 machine as them laps were winding out.
Yeah, it was a little hectic, especially at the start there. There was cars going everywhere, so copped a little bit of damage. But yeah, I was happy to keep it going and had a good race with Corey there, and just sort of was patient to see what was happening up front and tried to stay out of trouble, and ended up on the podium.
Well, you did great, man. You held on to the podium. After them last few laps, you were just able to work your way around all that mishap and mess, but you worked your way on up. Like I said, you came up 9 spots. Is there anybody you want to thank for helping you do so here tonight as you pull out a podium 3rd spot here tonight?
Yeah, man, sure. But thanks to the guys at Vortex Simsport. We're all in it today, which was cool. We had a bit of a run together, which was fun. Shane had his first taste, didn't make it too far, but it was good to race with him today. Thanks to Speed Shop 51 for the setups, LCJ Carpentry for Liam for all his support, and Boyd Bowden at Pace Graphics for these awesome wicked designs that he does. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast, and thanks for TRL for putting it on.
Awesome, brother. Congratulations here. Pulling up the 3rd spot here on the podium tonight. The 79 machine of Daniel Boyd.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pull up the 2nd spot, Mr. Corey Baudon. All right, Corey, you got me up in the booth, brother. Hello, Corey, up in the booth, brother. You got me?
Yeah, what's the matter? How you going?
There you are. Hey, we got you. So, man, up in the front, man, you come up 17 spots towards the back. Ended up finishing in the 2nd spot, man. Go ahead and give us the rundown what your race was like from start to finish, man.
Most will just stay out of trouble and keep my composure and just, roll around and be cautious, really.
And yeah, it was a hectic kind of race as everybody was going 3 wide and stuff. We had a few cautions, not too caution filled, but it was hectic because there was drivers everywhere, and you was just pick your line, pick or choose. But overall, it looked like the car felt good for you as you worked your way on up. We had that last few lap mishap. Man, what was going through your mind, brother, as them last few laps were winding out?
Yeah, I was just keeping calm. The other blokes on my team were just keeping me settled down. Make sure I didn't do anything stupid. Just reminding me to, use my head, not my foot. So, yeah. Everyone on the Rutledge Brothers team, Michael Holmes Racing, all of our supporters, for getting us to where we are, it's the best we can do.
All right, brother. Is there anybody else you want to shout out or anybody else you'd like to thank for pulling that thing up to the 2nd spot here on the podium tonight?
Mainly Michael Rutledge, bringing us in on the team, or everyone on our team. They're just such great people to work with. I think Rob finished 5th, so I think we had 2 guys in the top 5, which is pretty good effort.
Well, congratulations, brother. You held on to 2nd, and we look forward to maybe talking to you again in the booth.
No worries, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Corey Baudon pulling up the 2nd spot up here on the podium tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now tonight's winner, Mr. Paul Bryan, as we get ready to pull him on up into the booth. Paul, up in the booth, man, you got a copy.
Oh, yeah.
Man, what a race it was. That 42 machine was a rocket. But
Yeah, it was hooked up pretty well, man, but it definitely wasn't the fastest the whole race, but that was a cool race.
yeah, for sure. I mean, Tilly was up there, and they had some mishaps. The 50 machine, Clayton Davis, Also had some mishaps going on up there. Not too sure what was going on up there as the last few laps were winding out, though, as you were trying to work your way through. Go ahead and give us the rundown what it was like for you.
Yeah, it was lap traffic made it interesting there for a little while, which is always fun. Coming through the traffic, but it was all about just throttle control and trying to find where the fastest line was and finding that little bit of tacky stuff to keep the momentum up, which wasn't much left there at the end, and sort of, you notice someone coming or getting away from you in a certain line, you're pretty quick to try it and see if you can find something, mate. It's all about trying to stay up there for the last 5 or 10 laps and then see what happens.
Well, the last caution came out. That 42 machine worked his way on through, man. Congratulations. Pulling home the victory here tonight, Paul. Is there anybody you want to thank for being able to bring yourself up on here in the victory lane?
Just all the boys at Man Up Sim Racing, mate. We've put the team back together this season and been chipping away together there and all improving each week. And so all the boys there and Matty Gowans, who's not on the Man Up team, for all his help and spotting for me in that race. So that's it. Thank you to the TRL League too. It's been some great racing and good to be a part of.
Awesome, man. Congratulations, Paul Bryan, taking this one on home. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude it here tonight for the TRL Super League's Australians versus Americans 2022 Showdown, presented by Hobbs, Trench, and Boring. That was the first time I hit it actually smooth and clean all the way through. But, as always, I have been your host, Jacob Keith, ripping down the laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. These guys did phenomenal in these 410 sprint cars, as always. But until next time, don't do anything I would do unless you name it after me. Woof woof. Much hound love.